Hi guys, welcome to another Travelling Corner episode. In this video I am going off to Hull, and I tell you what, this is definitely an amazing discovery that we would have just then discovered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the way that I did before, so do Doncaster, Scunthorpe, and then get that covered to 350 bus that goes up to Hull. But I left a bit earlier than I have done because I do plan to get the 98 and the 98 at Doncaster, and then get the 100 from Gainsborough. So do the exact inverse as to what I did coming back. So I'll do that, and then with that being said, I'll be able to then just see where the rest of the journey takes us. So join me back in a bit, and I will be on the bus making my way to Rotherham. And I'm back, and I'm on this rather interestingly short back of the bus journey on the 216 going into Rotherham. So I'm going to go to the interchange to get my connecting bus to Doncaster. Middle of the back of the bus this time because it's fairly busy and didn't really do much. There's no window seats available, but at least then I'll just be able just to think as quickly be able to hop on and just give you a quick update as to what's going on. So I'm just going to go to the interchange on this bus and then wait for the bus to Doncaster, and then we'll be able to then just do the usual route. Now if I can get to Doncaster in good enough time, I can get the 12:05 to Gainsborough. But that's what my plan is anyway. But join me back in a bit because the interchange will be waiting. And I'm back, and well, just did a slight change of decision making. I've just asked the lady on my last bus how often the 221s run, and she said every 20 minutes. So I've now decided to come off Parkgate, which is where I am at the moment, and I'm going to get 221 up to Doncaster. And that going up to Doncaster means I can then just hopefully be able to get enough time to get an earlier 98 into Gainsborough and then get the 100 into Scunthorpe. And then with that in mind, what we'll do is we'll just go along that side, do the exact inverse of what I did with them. Do an exact inverse of what I did in my last travelling videos. So join me back in a bit because the 221 is due in literally a couple of minutes time, and I'll see you on that bus as I make my way into Doncaster. And I'm back and just made it onto the 221, so didn't have to wait that long, luckily. I was just at the bus stop for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're just making my way into Doncaster.
Next stop, the Gateway.
It's good to know actually that more and more of these SY buses, not only are they becoming more electronic, they're more electric even. Now you know what I mean.
Stop, Taylor's Lane.
Not only are there more electric buses coming out, but these now also have next stop announcements, as you can hear. And interestingly enough, there's a different stopping signal whenever someone presses the bell.
Next stop, Foundry Street.
It's interesting how fast the technology has evolved since the last time particularly since the last time I've been up in South Yorkshire. But you get to see another part of Yorkshire later on in this video.
This is Foundry Street.
And I'm very excited to be able to take you on this journey with me. Join me back in a bit as I take my way, make my way around Doncaster, and I'll see you all there. And I'm back, and here I am in Doncaster. Now, interestingly enough, in the turn of events, and it certainly was the same case scenario when I was here the last time round, the down escalators are broken, so you'd have to treat them like normal stairs, I take it. So I've got half an hour before I catch the 98 to Gainsborough. So I thought I'd just have a look around Doncaster for a bit. And I might just nip into a shop to see if I can get any, just some quick bits to eat, so I can then take something with me on the bus. Now I've come into some music, so I'm generally alright when it comes to something like this, but if I do get picked up, if it gets picked up, it gets picked up. Nothing you can really do about that, I'm afraid. So with that in mind, I've got half an hour before my bus to Gainsborough. So I'm just going to have a look around and grab something to eat. Join me back in a bit as I get on the bus to Gainsborough and then continue on to Scunthorpe and then Hull. And I'm back, and I'm just making my way out of Doncaster. I'm on the 98 going into Gainsborough. And there's just a sudden interesting thing that's just come to my mind about the shortening of some places here in the UK. And it's rather interesting that I would discover that any place name ending in either Castor or Thorpe would be shortened by those living up here in Yorkshire. So, for example, Doncaster becomes Donny, Scunthorpe becomes Scunny, Sunny Scunny is what they call Scunthorpe. Grimethorpe becomes Grimy. But then, if you're looking at somewhere like, there's somewhere in Nottinghamshire called Armthorpe, but would they shorten that down to Army? And if they did, that would be rather peculiar, and I think it would also sound rather weird. But then there's also another thing that I've taken into account as well, and that is there's other place names I know of that don't necessarily end in either Thorpe or Castor that have been shortened down. So, for example, Skegness became Skeggy. That's what I've learned. Then I could be wrong. So one thing, there's so many things that I've picked up all the time that I've been coming up to Yorkshire, particularly this area. It might be different in other parts, but that's certainly what I picked up here around the South Yorkshire area. Now I think we are going to be going through other counties along the way, because Scunthorpe is in Lincolnshire, and I think Gainsborough is either Lincolnshire or Nottinghamshire. I mean, I've seen a couple of Beckenhams on this route. One said Beckenham, Nottinghamshire, and the other one just said Beckenham, which I'm assuming would be Lincolnshire. But then, if that is the case, wouldn't that then say Links, or wouldn't it say Links? it's an interesting country I live in, and it's just absolutely amazing what I learn all the while that I'm here in the UK. So join me back in a bit, and I will see you in Gainsborough. And I'm back, and here we are in Gainsborough. Now it's just going to be a quick segment because the Scunthorpe bus is due in 5 minutes, and in actual fact there's a 100 coming round for Lincoln just about now, but it says 100 to Lincoln, which means then there will shortly be a 100 going to Scunthorpe. And it's an interesting discovery that I find. So I don't really have much time to go around, but at least I'll be able to do something. But unfortunately, by the looks of things, I have to say, there's not really much to gain around this part of Gainsborough. There's hardly nothing there. I can see a cafe, but I see a cafe and a children's centre, but unfortunately that's about it. I'd seen a 95, there's the 100 for Lincoln, there's the 100 for Scunthorpe. Join me back in a bit after this and I'll be on the next bus to Scunthorpe. And I'm back, and just making our way through Gainsborough town centre, and it's rather interesting that I find that this is the part that I don't think I've ever been through. So I'm just on the 100, this goes to Scunthorpe. I tell you what, there was a few days ago, I say a few days ago, sort of coming up towards a couple of weeks ago, feeling like Tiny Temper, and now I've just about to make my second visit to Scunthorpe, and it's very exciting actually, because I did enjoy what I saw of that area, and I'm just going to, it gives me more time to have a look at the surrounding areas that it gives me enough time just to look around the areas, because my bus for Hull isn't until 3:15, and it's I find it rather interesting that I should go to the very place where my nan was born. I also find it very sentimental as well, because then I get to see what goes on. If I do suddenly go quiet while there, it's because I'm most likely thinking about my nan. If you hear any cluttering, it's because I'm sat at the front of the 100 and my selfie stick is hitting the window. But anyways, join me back in a bit as I make my way into Scunthorpe. Join me in a bit after this. And I'm back, and I would like to welcome you back to a not so sunny Scunthorpe. I'm just going to just do something rather quick here, because I've got a bus to Hull in 19 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly go in and grab some other bits to eat and drink, because I need to eat. All I've had at the moment was a pack of sweets, which isn't enough. And I'm just going to make my way through to see what I can find. And it's just rather an interesting discovery that I find here. And this is the song that I'm going to remember. And it's just rather an interesting, as I say, approach Now again, if this video gets picked up because of what's playing in the background, then it'll get picked up. I'm totally fine with that. So we'll just see where we go from here. And I will see you in a bit as I make my journey on the next bus going up to Hull. Join me in a bit after this. And I'm back, and things didn't quite go to plan. I know I picked up the bus that was the 2:45 because I found out even that the buses, the 350s that run from here to Hull, they run every half an hour, so it's 2 an hour. And I thought I'd get this bus instead of the one at 3:15, which then came in at my expense because it meant then that I didn't have enough time to get anything to eat or drink. So I'll get all those when I get into Hull, which is probably a good thing that I do that, because it means then I'd have enough energy to last me hopefully until I get back to my mum's. I've got a train ticket for Rotherham. But another thing I wanted to mention as well while I'm thinking about it is I'm sat towards the back of the 350 and not the very back. Well, for a couple of reasons. One, I did go to the very back of the 350 of this bus, and I hit my head. And then I thought also, and the second thing was, I thought to myself, as this bus is going over the Humber Bridge, that I thought I would treat you to a view of that as I make my way into Hull. I'll do a quick video of me going over the Humber Bridge. It is quite a long bridge, something that I've been wanting to do for a while, ever since I've heard about it. It goes over to Hull, and I'm just excited to share that part with you. So join me back in a bit, and I will see you as we make our way over the Humber Bridge. And I'm back, and this is the Humber Bridge, just over there. And we're just going to be going over on the Humber Bridge as we make our way up to Hull. I'm so sorry that you won't be able to see too much of it because these windows are absolutely filthy, coupled by the fact that it's quite foggy today as well, particularly as we're making our way up to Hull, and it's just not really much else to see of it. But I tell you what, on my next journey up over the Humber Bridge, hopefully it'll be a much clearer day and I'll be able to show you that. But join me in a bit as I make my way into Hull. And I'm back, and this, as promised, is the view from the Humber Bridge. And while it's absolutely foggy over there at the moment, thought I just couldn't take up the opportunity to show you what it's like. I've not been on this bridge before either, and it's just an amazing, looking at that, the view from over here is gorgeous. And we've got this for the next couple of miles. So it's a long bridge, a lot longer than I'd anticipated. But we are coming towards the end of it now, and I tell you what, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So we'll call it here for this part. There's still plenty more adventures to explore, and I will and welcome to Hull for the first time. And I have to say, from what I can see, this is absolutely an interesting place, because not only have you got the bus station over there, which has got 38 different bays for you to board, so you can actually then go from anywhere that you could possibly think of. I'll have to go through each of the stops to see where they go, but you've also got the trains nearby as well, which is I think that wouldn't be too far from here. But then you've also got the coaches there as well. So you've got 38 bus stands, you've got 4 coach bays. So if you add them together, you've then got 42 stops. And they go everywhere, anywhere and everywhere in East Yorkshire. And then if we go over here, fine, but not actually too far away from the trains. I've got to be careful because I've had a near slip. I've had many a near slip in these walking boots. So we go around here, you'll find that I'm relatively near the trains as well, which is good to know. Hull is I was just gonna see how. As I was saying before I got interrupted by Anne again, I was just wondering how many platforms this station has. I think it's got 7. It looks like it's got 7. I will just have to have a check. I've got to come here later because I'm getting a train back to Doncaster, but that to the side, I'm sure that we'll be able to think of something. Anyway, join me back in a bit as I take you on some many more exciting journeys. And I'm back, and I'm just about to explore more of the street areas of Hull. I've fallen in love with this place. I promise you now, it's nothing to do with the fact that my nan was born here, in this very place. I mean, I've always wanted to explore more areas of Yorkshire, and I'm finally able to do that. But I will say, at this point, it was definitely an interesting journey, because I went through 3 counties to get this far. I bookended this journey because I started in Yorkshire and I finished in Yorkshire. But at the same time, I then called Rotherham, Doncaster, Gainsborough, Scunthorpe before I got here into Hull. And I tell you what, I'm absolutely enjoying what I've seen so far. Try not to choke on a donut, but then I also treat myself to some candy floss, or as they call it in the USA, cotton candy, or in Australia, fairy floss. But either which way, it doesn't matter what you call it, still can't beat a bit of the good old candy floss. And I absolutely love it. Really enjoyed it. So what we'll do is I'll call it here for the moment. Join me in the next part though, because I'm going to take you into the I'll take you on the return journey back to Rotherham. Join me back in a bit after this. And I'm back, and I'm just sat on platform 2 of Hull railway station. Now, it's been an interesting journey that I've been on, because I've done 6 hours on about 6.5 hours on the bus. I need to then do a 90-minute journey on the way back and doing the train. So, if there's one thing that I've learned from today is next time I come up to Hull, get the train, not the bus. Because I think about it. So on the bus I went to Rotherham, went to Doncaster, went to So on the bus I went to Rotherham, went to Doncaster, went to Gainsborough to Scunthorpe, and now I'm here in Hull, and it's just a rather interesting journey. Now on the way back I booked a ticket to Rotherham Central 1926, the time of my train, and I went, all I've got to do is change to Doncaster and I'll get the journey over and done with in about an hour and a half, so it's about a quarter. Thanks, Anne. That's the second time she's interrupted me during this video. First time was when just as I got off the bus and I made my way round. So anyway, join me back in a bit, and I will find myself on the train going back to Doncaster. I've got something else interesting I'd like to share with you. And I'm back, and I'm ready to wrap up this journey. I mean, this is a very interesting journey I've been on. So it's 6.5 hours on the buses, to be followed by a 90-minute journey on the train. But I'm actually at the moment 10 minutes behind schedule, because there was an incident which the police have been dealing with. But hopefully we'll be able to make up for lost time, because otherwise I'm going to be left with a 4-minute connection time. That's not what I'm wanting, because you know what I'm like. I absolutely hate tight connections. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.